like to give a big shout out to our sponsors at Combat Vet CBD. Combat Vet CBD is not only for veterans, it's for you too. Their CBD and Delta 8 products are high quality, full spectrum, and cheaper than all of their competitors. If not, they will match anyone's prices. CBD is all natural and better than pharmaceutical alternatives. Say no to narcotics that make you into a zombie and say yes to Combat Vet CBD. Go to combatvetcbd.com and use the word CULT. That's CULT CULT at checkout and save 30% on all products. Hello and welcome to the show. This is the Cult of Conspiracy, and my name's Jonathan.
I'm Jacob.
I'm Brooke.
And Brooke from the Outlook by Brooke is back. You know her, you love her, she's here. If you haven't done so already, go and go subscribe to her show. She is on all podcasts everywhere. Yep. Outlook by Brooke. You want all of your Q news? Get it every day, dude. Name anybody else that can do that. I don't know too many.
No.
So Brooke is the place you go to for the underground shit.
Yes. Yes.
So, let's talk.
All right. So,
What is the updates?
Actually, before we get into that, I really just want to tell you guys this because I'm super excited.
okay.
All right. Do you remember? All right. So it wasn't that long ago that we did the Balenciaga show, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Remember how we broke it down and like from Latin and it translated into like fucking ball is king and
Right. Then we had the 2 episodes right behind it talking about how words are spells, correct?
Exactly. I want to blast the cult members in the face with this one.
Are you casting spells again, you dick?
Maybe.
Okay.
I
just needed to know.
Yeah. Prepare yourself for this
All right.
one. This one shocked me.
Okay.
Okay. When translated from Latin to English,
Okay.
NIC, Nick,
Nickelodeon. Yeah. I saw that.
Kello Dio.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Nick Kello Dio, which spells out Niccolo, which, you know,
Just
if
add
you're
an N
if
at
you're
the end.
which it's easy to add the N, like we're from Louisiana, you were Louisianians
Mhm.
or
Okay,
some
I'm with
shit,
you,
right?
with
You add the N for Nickelodeon. You know what it fucking says,
you.
dude?
No.
It says, I don't care about God.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Bro.
There's a lot of stuff, like even in our
Nickelodeon.
music, and like if you like play certain songs backwards, or there's just a lot of stuff that's hidden agenda, but in plain sight.
Backward speak, it's one of the devil's favorite tools.
Yeah.
Just like, wasn't it the head of Nickelodeon had a foot fetish? Like a pedophilic foot fetish?
Yeah.
And like even like looking back on it, there were signs, but like the young innocent us could have never picked up on it. How like there'd always be like Amanda Bynes doing some weird shit with her feet on camera. We just thought,
Yeah.
oh, she's being funny. Reality was like, no, that was a foot fetisher's fucking dream come true right there. And
By
then
the
the old
way-
Nickelodeon
Yeah.
logo had a big old orange foot on it.
I know. Yeah.
It was things.
Which,
with
by
it.
the way,
I wonder
Amanda
where the slime
Bynes,
fits
if Amanda
into
Bynes ever wants to
that.
come on the show, she's
This-
more than welcome.
The slime is actually a reference to. I read a little article on this once upon a time. Do you remember it was called GAC at one point in time? And
Yeah.
the slime,
Yeah.
aka snot, aka a illicit drug that pretty
Oh.
much the entirety of Nickelodeon was running on in the late 80s and early 90s, back when MTV was like an absolute lawless wasteland.
Well, it was very iconic for them, the whole like sliming scenario. So I'm like, that has to have something to it.
Well,
more
and
than
another thing
just
on the foot,
slime.
I mean, I remember growing up because, you know, being from Pennsylvania, we couldn't really cheer for our Pennsylvania college
I
teams.
say I had some snot up in Appalachia country. I know that for sure.
But a lot of people were very big, like as far as college basketball goes, North Carolina Tar Heels fans.
Yeah.
And their logo is a foot.
Oh,
so,
that's
Yeah.
weird.
do you remember that one?
That's
I wonder
right.
if that has something
That
to do with it.
puts the pedo and pedophilia, huh?
I would say
Peas.
so.
I dig it. I dig
Yeah.
it.
Maybe.
So anyway, just saying, old school Nickelodeon had some wild shit with that like nobody really picked up on
Yeah.
because we just thought they were being funny.
But at the same time, look at all the shit with Disney. I wouldn't expect any different
Oh.
from Nickelodeon.
Absolutely, and keep in mind, Nickelodeon is owned by MTV.
I feel like Nickelodeon did or does everything that Disney did, but in a more tacky style of fashion. which is some people's taste. So it's like it's targeting kids of every variety. What are you gonna watch? It's
Oh, dude.
all
Yeah. Wild
it's
Thornberries,
infiltrated.
Rugrats.
Yeah.
Well, exactly right. And then Nickelodeon also had like music videos playing from modern artists that you would see on the MTV Top 10 or TRL Live, whatever, in between commercials. So they were already kind of grooming you from an early age to move
Yeah.
from Nickelodeon to MTV when the time came. And then you look at the programs that MTV put out at a very, very early
Teen
stage,
Mom.
right? 16 and Pregnant, Double Shot of Love with Tila Tequila.
Yeah, that was weird.
They were pushing a whole agenda from a very early spot.
And that's
Yeah.
not to say that being a teen mom is anything bad by any means, but you got to think the pedestal that these channels are on, dude. Like we talked about it, channels, they're channeling you,
Yeah.
remote control, they're controlling you remotely, all that stuff, right? Like you got to think whenever they put something up on such a big stage, it is always for a purpose.
Mhm.
And that purpose is to promote just a dysfunctional society, I believe.
Exactly. It's the same as
Well-
like calling shit on Honey Boo Boo's family. Like I'm not talking shit on poor white people. I'm talking shit on this particular group of poor white people.
And
Yeah.
why are they promoting the fuck out of that?
Why did
You know what I'm
TLC
saying?
make that a massive push to glorify all this nasty, crazy shit? They set the bar, right?
Mm.
The bare minimum standard for what passes as acceptable entertainment on television. And they set it so goddamn low that South Park had to do a double-part episode about this, where they had to get James Cameron in a sub to find how far the bar had dropped in Mariana's Trench.
Yeah.
So if you think about like the standards of like what the way that God's called us to live, and then you think about the fact that a lot of these producers, directors, all of that, they practice Satanism, it makes sense why they would promote something like
Yep.
16 and Pregnant or Teen Mom or whatever, because it is something like outside of God's covenant.
I just don't understand why they put everything out there because they want everybody to feel included. I can't stand that because it's
Yeah.
another reason to push something onto everybody else.
Yeah.
And that's the problem with a lot of stuff and fucking TV shows and everything nowadays. I can't watch anything new, bro. Like I have a hard time watching new shit.
Yeah.
You know,
Because
try.
they're trying to ram it right down our goddamn throats, bro.
It depends on the show.
I was watching this video the other day, and this guy was military, and he had his service dog, and a lady was like, "Hey, I see it says like don't pet. Do you mind if I pet your dog?" And he was like, "Thank you for asking. Yes, you can pet. Just approach very gently, And the guy next to her was like going to pet the dog. He's like, "Hey, man, I wouldn't do that." Well, why not? He said, "Well, because this dog is trained to like distinctly protect me, and doesn't really like other men." So he was like, "Oh, well, how dare you like assume my gender?" And
Oh
this and
my
that.
God.
So the
come
guy
on.
basically told him, he was like, "Okay, well, go ahead and pet the dog. The dog will choose your gender."
Dude, yeah,
love
you think
this.
you think a dog gives a fuck?
No.
Like the dog knows whether you're a man or a woman.
Yeah,
they know that
they
they know
can
the
see it,
sense.
like the testosterone amount and estrogen. Men don't have any estrogen, so
Go tell your puppy that you're a Zemze. I mean, they'll still
agree.
lick you to death. I love puppies. I'm a huge puppy fan.
No doubt. But I will say this also. You had said, Brooke, about how the forces of evil are working on this side, the forces of good are working at this side, and all goes
Mhm.
according to a plan. I would like to officially announce for sure that the spinoff podcast is going to happen.
Let's go.
To all the cult members out there, biblical end time prophecies and how they relate to geopolitics in the world today from the mouth of yours truly. And I'm going to also have some guests come on. I have a couple of pastors lined up that look at end times in a whole different light.
Yeah.
Brooke, if you would like to come on and give your 2 cents to like a specific section of end time prophecies,
Yeah.
I'm all for it.
So I've actually done a deep dive recently on the Nephilim.
Okay.
I love
That plays a
Nephilim
portion.
talk.
I think it plays more of a portion than what you realize.
There's so many ways to look at that one in particular. Did you know that there's an argument to say that redheads are actually Nephilim descendants?
Well,
Natural redheads?
They do have a line of like the one that they found in what is that, Kandahar?
Yeah.
Was a redheaded
the
giant.
redheaded giant.
Redheaded
But-
giants, yes.
But there are other types.
Yeah.
One girl had put a video out saying that like God gave her a dream and he showed her all the different locations around the U.S. and where these Nephilim lie and
Yeah.
what they look like, and some were Celtic and some were not. Like the different
Absolutely.
And yeah, I don't know, but I think that they play a major part. I think that, we look at the Klaus Schwabs and the Henry Kissingers, and we're just like,
But
okay,
see,
who's really barking orders? But could it possibly be Nephilim? Like that's a
well,
theory of
Dude, honestly, if you look at a lot of the paperwork, a lot of the bills that they get passed, most of the governors and shit, they don't know what the fuck's on there. It's just like it hits their desk. Oh, the
Told to
Republicans
sign
want
it.
it. I'm gonna sign it.
They
The
have-
Democrats sign it.
they have
It-
people to read it for them. They have people that will give them the cliff notes of it.
Yeah.
They don't actually read the shit.
No.
They have some little 20-something-year-old intern read it backwards, forwards, upwards, and down, and then tell them, this is what it says, this is what you do like, this is what you don't like.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, kid. And then they move on.
So it goes to show, where are these bills truly being passed from?
Indeed.
Yeah.
You know what
So-
I'm saying?
But with the show that I'm going to launch, I don't want to actually put my own spin on it and influence someone to feel one way or another about it. Okay, I want to look at it super objectively. Look at the biblical end times to the word. Look at the time, place, the audience. I'm not just going to be taking a little 2 sentences and running for a fucking hour with it. That's not how I do business.
Yeah.
So
Like
we're
a
going to
church
do it.
service.
You know what I mean?
I can't stand that.
If you're taking something from it that can be quickly explained, then that's one thing. But dude, if you take one sentence from an entire book of an entire Bible and you use that one sentence to justify an entire sermon, I would love to know.
Dude, sometimes it's not even a full sentence. That's what bothers me the most.
Right.
Is sometimes like an excerpt from a sentence, and you're like,
Hey.
okay, well, that's not even the same context as what was written in the Bible.
Bro,
what the fuck are
have
you talking
no
about?
clue the fucking context. And it's like, well,
Right.
Jesus said it, so that means no. Who was he saying it to, bruh?
And why?
Why? What was the situation?
the
Who was around
scenario.
him?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I want to look at it from the grand scheme of shit and then look at it from geopolitics in the world today. I don't want to put my spin and say, well, this is exactly what's happening. And I want to show
Yeah.
you the puzzle pieces, and I want to give it to the audience and let them put it together themselves and draw
Yeah.
their own conclusions. But everything that I say will be cited, will be backed, will be factually, researched. And also, there will be no foul language. I will clean up my act, of course, to give this to give the subject matter the proper respect and reverence that it deserves.
Yeah.
Get all
So,
your
for
fucks
sure.
out on here, sir.
Fuck yeah, man. I
I
mean,
how often are you gonna be doing one of those shows?
I don't
Have you
know. I
decided?
don't know. I'm thinking possibly once a week. Okay, to start.
I
And
feel
if
like
it,
that's a road that will lead you where you need to. You know what I mean?
I feel like it's meant to be.
You can't. I don't think that that's a show that you can really put a business plan on.
I
You know
don't
what
think
I
so.
mean?
I have a goal, right? But then that also depends on the subject matter. So, like, for
Mhm.
instance, the Ezekiel 88 and 89 war. And to all the cult members, I know I quote this one a lot, but it's kind of the one that I think may happen first in the grand scheme of shit. But that one war alone, I could probably spend 6 hours dissecting it to the nth degree, right? I don't necessarily want to do that. I maybe want to do that one into like a 1 or 2 parter.
Yeah.
If it really bears that much, maybe a 3-parter, but I think that's kind of pushing it at that point. And we break down the scripture side of it on one, and then the geopolitics on the end, and then I wrap it up in a neat little bow to present to the people.
Yeah.
And if that flies, then great. If not, we'll adjust left or right as needed. I'm hoping at this time to release one a week.
Yeah.
Dude, you know what the beautiful thing about podcasts is? Like running your own podcast like that? It's that it gives you time to look more into the things that you're more interested in.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
Agree.
Like, if you weren't trying to prepare for a show, you wouldn't, do as much research as you normally would.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be as curious as you normally would. And who knows, the rabbit holes that the information you look up, maybe there's more rabbit holes that you didn't even know there was.
Yeah.
And so that's what I love about doing podcasts. So I highly recommend all of our cult members, everybody listening.
Dude, we've had
Dude.
multiple people hit us up in messages and ask, like, hey, I was thinking about starting a podcast. What do you think? Like,
Yeah.
how do I do this? Bruh, first of all, message us. We will help anyone because it's like, yo, we started from nowhere. I'm not saying we're exactly anywhere yet, but I think we're doing pretty good.
It's a lot of work, dude, but I tell you what, like, this is one of the, this is the most fun time of my day.
I
Yeah.
will say this,
You
though.
know what I mean?
You get to share your weirdness with somebody
Yeah.
else.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like,
I
I'm not
will
going to
say,
talk
though-
to the fiance about fucking lizard people. She'll just
You-
laugh at me.
But
You know?
you get out of it what you put into it. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Because at a certain point, it is legitimately a job. And it's like, okay, if I only put in the bare minimum into this thing to keep it going, well, don't get mad when you only get the bare minimum back.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if you actually put in the time and the work and the man hours to make this thing into something, then you will get the results back.
Or the
Yeah.
woman hours, you fucking pig.
Excuse me, the human
I
hours.
knew what he was saying.
Lord.
Anyhow, all right.
Anyway.
I really want to get onto the topic we're
Let's
trying
go.
to get into today. We haven't had you on here in a couple months, and so I'm sure you got a lot built up.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure the Q community is just running around with their hair on fire, as always, which is why we love you, because it's always just so much fun.
There's
and
something
it's great
new
information.
every day.
Yes.
I think that's the fun part about it is like going through the Q journey. You're like, okay, so these are like the check marks of what is supposed to happen, and you don't know really. You can kind of guess which way things will turn out.
Yeah.
And sometimes they don't, or sometimes they turn out in other ways. And so like I'm enjoying right now the entire like Twitter feud, right?
Mm.
Okay.
So Elon Musk, he's been releasing Twitter files basically showing how corrupt our government is and the censorship and targeting certain people.
Wait, where are you at currently with Elon?
Well,
What's your current thoughts on him?
I-
Because you, along with everyone else on
I think
Earth,
he's a placeholder.
right? Everyone else on Earth agrees that we don't know what the fuck is up with him. We kind of like him, but we kind of don't trust him for the exact same reasons.
Yeah.
And depending on the week, and depending on what he said or does, depends on how we feel about him.
It's his past that you
You
really got to
know-
question, because he
His
always
past.
yes, because he
It's because he's
claimed-
African American, isn't it? You bigot.
I know, I'm such a bigot, but it's the reason is because he claimed that whenever he was growing up in South Africa, that him and his family were extremely poor.
Yeah.
And so that would led him to that's what inspired him to go on with all of his companies,
Yeah, but his
PayPal and all that shit,
babysitter
right?
also said he was like opening portals and shit at 4 years old.
Right.
So
I
that's
mean,
a red
dude,
flag.
yeah, he was a boy genius.
But was his
But-
babysitter clinically sane?
Well, I don't know about that, but
I
I
don't
was
know
going to
either.
get at
But
at
is he
that
clinically sane? We don't
Ah.
know.
his fucking parents, dude, were emerald miners.
Yeah.
And so they grew up super rich. So whenever he actually moved to New York, he was like paying people for shit in fucking emeralds, bro.
I wonder if poor is
That's
relative. Like, if he thinks growing up poor means that, like,
His mom's part of an Illuminati family.
Mm.
you know what I mean? I wonder if his bracket of poor is the same as what we would call a tax bracket of poor.
Probably
You know what I
Probably
mean?
not.
Like, oh no, Mumsy only gave me $1 million to last in the year. I'm so broke.
Also, his mom may or may not be a dude. I'm just saying. Have you looked at pictures of her?
I've
She looks
heard
freaky.
this.
But anyways, so back
Yeah.
to the entire Twitter argument. So he puts a poll up this week, and he's like, "Hey, who thinks that I should step down as CEO?" And it was, I don't know if it was a sting to kind of catch more bots because he's been cleaning up the bots, or if it was to allow the general public to have an honest conversation. But it ended up being like 58% of people said that he should step down.
Okay.
And
Of his own company.
yes. And
Oh, that's how you get fired.
so
Yeah.
no, this was like people on Twitter were able to vote.
Oh.
Like just random Twitter.
I thought you meant
Counts.
of like Elon's personal staff said
Oh,
half
no.
of them said he should quit. I'm like, God, talk
Whoa,
about
58% wanted him to step down?
That's
Twitter.
But
Why?
how many bots were accounted for? I don't know.
Mm,
So
Would you
that's what I'm
rather
saying.
have that other shitbag that was running it that was
Jack
fucking
Dorsey?
censoring? Yeah.
No.
right.
So
They're mad that he allowed them to keep free speech. That horrible Nazi.
Wow, I can't believe it.
So he retweeted and he was like, "All right, well, be careful what you ask for." And there were a few really random options that kind of came up of like Edward Snowden.
Mm,
And then he was seen out with Jared Kushner.
okay.
Who? Elon was.
Yes, this weekend at a sporting event. He was seen out like in the, suites or whatever watching at the sporting event with
And remind
standing
people of
next
who
to-
Jared Kushner is.
He's a Jew.
He is
Oh my God, that was racist.
Donald Trump's
it?
evil.
You're a Christian. Is that racist?
Ivanka Trump's husband.
Okay, Ivanka Trump's husband.
Mhm. So,
Okay,
yeah. I
Gotcha.
personally think he's like Israeli Mossad, but it's fine.
could be.
That's what a lot of people have said, is that that's why they don't trust Trump, because it's basically Mossad run.
No, Jared Kushner and himself, I think him and his wife are into more disrespectful organizations than I think Donald Trump Jr. is gold.
Disrespectful organizations.
Like just like CIA type.
Okay, like shadow government, illegal.
Yeah,
Okay, I'm
okay.
sorry. When you said like disrespect, I'm like, Can you be a little more specific than disrespectful?
But like on a global scale.
Yeah, I hear you.
And but I think like Eric and Don Jr. like they're great. You know, they bleed red, white, and blue just like Donald Trump.
No doubt.
And so now the topic of conversation is, would Donald Trump Jr. be fit for the role of, taking the CEO of Twitter?
Has he made any statements about moving politically? Because I know at one point in time he was talking about maybe making a run of it or like getting a political backing behind Donald Jr.
Donald Trump Jr. is setting himself up quite nicely for future politics.
I thought so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Eric's not so much, but Don Jr. is definitely
But Don Jr.
got a good following at least.
He like posts on Truth Social with that same like non-shit giving grit that Donald Trump has about people. Like,
I mean, when you got fuck you money,
Yeah.
you got to say fuck you.
like he just like says it
Be a
how it
shame if
is.
you
He's
didn't.
like retruthing things, and he's like, these people are idiots, and I'm like, yeah, they are. But
I mean,
you just said that
kinda.
out loud. Like you said the quiet part out loud. Okay.
I hear you. Okay.
So these types of weird operations that we're kind of subjected to that are maybe kind of confusing for public consumption, I think that they are brilliant ways to wake us up to multiple subjects. So
Such
we-
as.
such as right now, it's a love-hate relationship with Elon.
Okay.
We
Fair.
we think that he's better than Jack Dorsey, but we're not really quite saying that he's great. You know?
Yeah, he's trying to put chips into our brains, bro.
So
But he also wants us to retain free speech.
right. So that's what I'm saying. He's a polarizing figure. If someone else were to take his position at Twitter, since Twitter has now become on brand, I guess you could say, or like something that people look to as something going on in the world.
Right.
It would be very telling of Elon or of the person potentially taking their place about their character. Does it make sense? Like if Donald Trump Jr. takes over
Okay.
and he does the exact same as, just as Elon, retaining our free speech rights
Yeah.
and releasing Twitter files, but he absolutely knocks out every single bot within a week. As where, Elon Musk is taking his time, slowly but surely getting all the bots out. Would that change our perspective of, did Elon do everything he could when he could?
I don't know.
Or-
I think there's absolutely no way that Don Jr. would be more like than Elon. There's
No, okay.
absolutely no fucking way.
So
Yeah.
you also have to factor in like we're gonna swap over to Starlink at some point. A lot of things will be blockchain ran, and that will make it harder for bots to be president. Well, so
What do you mean blockchain ran?
like instead of like all these like coding and stuff, more things will be run through a blockchain, so it
Does
makes
that have to
things
do with
more
crypto?
secure.
Yeah.
I
There
thought
is-
crypto's
there
crashing
is-
right now.
No, there is blockchain crypto.
The price of
But-
crypto is crashing, not the actual service and system.
Right.
I thought that it all was coming down.
No, you
Okay.
need to look into a few things. I will
Okay.
send it to you.
No, bring it up now. Let the
But-
cult members look up.
Well, I'm trying to remember what the actual, I think it was like quantum.gov or something like
Okay.
that. And it tells you what cryptos will be asset backed.
Okay.
But I'm not 100% sure that that's what we might have
That's
to
the one that's
Google
going
it.
gold backed as well, right? There was
It's
one.
not just gold, it's gold, silver, palladium, rhodium, like all kind of different assets.
Okay.
See, we have so many people that come on and they share their ideas with, certain spectacles of the world. And
Mhm.
somebody most recently come on and said, I can't remember who the hell it was, but he came on and said that, as far as crypto being backed by anything, the idea that that's ever going to happen, it's going to be backed by gold, backed by silver. I don't know. I guess
It seems
a lot of people look at
far-fetched.
it as even more fiat
It's-
than
Well,
cash dollars are.
It sounds ridiculous to me that an ethereal dollar will be backed by tangible things because the internet said so. To me personally, because I don't understand how it works, and this is coming from a place of ignorance.
And as
Well,
far as the
so-
stock market goes, I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. As far as the stock market goes, there is always. I used to be huge
It's
into
a
the,
perfect
in the stock
example.
market.
I have no fucking idea where the stock numbers come from. They're fucking up, down fairy dust. It doesn't exist.
Well, that's almost exactly what it is, in a sense, as far as it being traded and the price going up and the price going down and all that stuff. What I will say is that a lot of people who look into stocks, everybody knows that a stock is pumped and pumped and pumped on, oh, this is about to happen. This is about to happen. And then fucking, the quarterly earnings come and some horrible news comes out and the stock plummets. Well, the reason that it's pumped up with those stories and theories about what it could be and what's going to happen from it
Greedy
is
people.
because the people are fucking
Greedy.
making money on the way down. They short the shit out of it.
It's called
And
a put option, actually.
That's exactly like, yeah, the smart people have puts in.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Because they know that this shit's being pumped up. And I guess that's my whole thing as far as crypto goes. I mean, I'm not saying that it could or couldn't be backed by gold or silver. All I'm saying is, I guess, is it more than just a possibility? Like, do we know for sure? Like, where's the the proof of that, I guess?
I get it.
Okay, so obviously there are certain things that we can talk about that are provable, and then there are certain things that we can talk about that will be proven, if that makes sense.
Heard. Okay.
The absence of
because-
evidence does not mean the evidence of absence, bruh.
So we're in this like really weird in between phase, okay, where we're hearing reports that like Nassar Jassar, like tier 3 is done, it's over with, like all the bonds have been paid out, they're asset backed globally, and we would be tier 4, like the internet group, the people of the world, right? Well, we have all these nations that we would have never said 10 years ago would have gone gold backed, and now here they are, all the BRICS nations, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is not the QAnon, PSYOP, whatever you want to call it. It's not an operation specifically for the U.S. It's an operation for humanity. And that's what a lot of people aren't understanding. There's a lot of geopolitics that happen behind the scenes to make the entire world better because it's been ran by absolute shitheads for the last 2,000 years.
And it's not, I mean, it's definitely possible that there could be a rogue group that breaks away for the actual betterment of the humanity. Because you think about it, like, that's really, I mean, yes, I know history is a lie agreed upon and all that shit. But if you really think about it, why, the United States was, essentially founded was based upon wanting to get out of a shitty system and make it better.
Well, so all of this, a lot of 90-something% of our stolen gold all around the world was underneath the Vatican.
Yep.
Go figure. And so that has been redistributed and figured out between countries of to make our dollars all with an equal value because you're going to be trading it. So here is a little pretense of what people don't understand. The gold that will be for America is already in America. It's already moved. It's already here.
Okay.
The gold that is for Nigeria is already in Nigeria.
Yeah.
And we'll just keep along with that process.
So
the
are you
gold
saying
that's in Italy is already in Italy.
Are you saying that it was taken from the Vatican by trustworthy people and split up amongst countries to be equal, I guess?
Yes.
So where did you hear this though? Where's the proof of this?
Okay, so this is a general consensus of a lot of research over years. So it's kind of hard to pinpoint exactly here and there and everywhere, but so we're going to move forward with this conversation, and it ties into the JFK assassination. He wanted to go gold back.
Yep.
Nassar
Yes.
Jassar was supposed to happen then, and now his files have actually been released this week.
Yeah, they have.
Dude, you know what's crazy about Nassar Jassar? People can look it up. I mean, I know a lot of people say, they hear about Nassar Jassar and it just sounds like another Q thing, right? But honestly, you can look it up in other countries. That shit's really going down, bro.
Yes, it is.
Like, that ain't no bullshit.
And so we are very, very close. Being that Tier 3 was finished out this week, like the internet group like us, we're next, essentially, and it falls beautifully aligned with all the other geopolitics that are currently happening and fixing to happen. But with the crypto, people almost look at it like a fast-paced stock market.
Yes.
And I think
I could see that.
And you can trade it at all hours. You don't have to
For-
wait
Right.
for stock hours.
for future tense, for the world to come, it's going to have a completely different purpose, okay? So, say your one coin on XRP is worth $1 US, also 1 Russian ruble, also 1 dinero. Like, if all of them are equal, and you have your XRP per se.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if I want to buy something or purchase a company or move money to a company that is in China, in Japan, Mongolia, wherever, I could literally just say, okay, I'm transferring the XRP right now, and transfer the $1, and so they have $1, whatever their currency is, and it makes international transactions a lot easier,
Yeah.
and it actually takes out the Federal Reserve element of, oh, well, we have to know where everything's coming from, everything's going to, let's pay,
Yeah.
you have to pay this much to wire transaction, like all of that.
But after next month, the government is going to have taxes in place on all crypto.
Is
So-
that a scare tactic?
No, I believe that's actually going to happen because the government found that people are able to do things with money that they don't get a slice of, and now they made it a mandate in this country to where they have to get their slice.
Well, there is ways around that actually.
Oh, I'm
I
sure
think they
there's
can
ways.
only
Did
tax
you
certain
not,
ones.
Did you not just ring into the whole FTX scandal?
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's basically all that was going on there.
that is completely what was going on there.
Yep.
True.
So that whole
That's the
FTX
one that the dude was like living in a 9-person polycule. Is that the one? And he ended,
It's Sam Bankman-Fried, whatever.
whatever
Freed,
the
I
hell,
think.
and he was like the owner of this cryptocurrency that was living in like some condo with 9 other people that were all in some sort of weird orgy polycule type of situation.
No, this was us giving quote unquote foreign aid to Ukraine, and then Ukraine put it into FTX
Oh.
and then transferred it to our politicians.
Oh, you know who else was running that whole FTX with old Sam Bankman-Fried?
Hashtag money laundering.
Yes, exactly. You know who else was doing it, bro? Fucking Mr. Wonderful.
Shocker.
Yeah. Fucking Mr. Wonderful from
Shark Tank, dude.
Shark Tank
Look,
got caught up in that
if
shit.
there's a way to make money, why not do it? As long as you're not being caught, right? It's not illegal the first time.
So, anyways, but now you kind of understand with asset backed and with crypto kind of where it falls in geopolitically and the importance of it. So that's where I was going with that.
I
That was a
Wow.
long spill, but I hope you understand it now.
I do.
Wow, dude. Yeah, I mean, look, it's hard to really crack the case on crypto. 1 minute, it sounds like a great idea. Oh, look, the government's not getting any money from this, yada, yada. But if you think about, like, just currency in general, why not be able to trade money with anybody in the world? Like, if somebody in Brazil, for example, wants to buy a fucking Cult of Conspiracy t-shirt, in, shit, I forget their currency.
Can we use
But if-
crypto here on our merch sales?
I don't know.
Do we accept crypto?
I
In the
don't-
future, you will have to, I think.
Yeah, I think that we
Okay,
eventually
That's
will.
where it's going to be
We
moving
just
to.
don't want it to be government run, and that's what the Fed coin is all about. They're trying to fucking take us off of dollars and all that shit.
By
and
the
it's
way,
gonna be Fed coin.
all Cults of Conspiracy merch. Look at the links in the description of each show if you want
Yes.
to buy you some sick, nasty merch. Just throw
Yes,
that out.
and you can pick the color of any T-shirt, any hoodie, anything that you want to buy on there. It's all a bunch of sick shit.
Yeah.
I might be getting a Cult of Conspiracy tank top. I don't know why I haven't yet. I got
don't
the Cult
know
of
why.
Conspiracy regular T-shirt, but
We need that for when the nips need to be out, dog. When
Dude.
shit gets real.
yeah, when shit gets real, it's suns out, nips out. That's how we
Right.
roll around here, baby.
Just like dicks out for Harambe. When shit hits the fan, we're ready
Yes, and
in any way.
and shaking alien cheeks.
That took a
Or
weird
clapping
turn,
alien
okay.
cheeks. That old thing.
Clapping alien cheeks.
Yes, dude.
Oh, that
all
Area
right,
51 scam was fucking great, wasn't it?
dude.
The internet's wonderful.
Yes, it was. Okay, I wanted to go over something real quick
Let's
because
go.
I just want to get your guys' opinion on it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we know that back in the the 60s, 70s, CIA kind of shit, and they were doing the MK Ultra and testing on victim, or not testing on victims so much.
Oh, I would say victims.
That
they
was
didn't even,
happening all the way up until like a few years ago.
Right,
Yeah.
probably still happening now.
The ones that they confirmed about, yeah, they've pretty much force fed the mentally insane LSD for 6 straight months and just
Or were
saw
they
what would
sane
happen.
and all of a sudden weren't because of
Dude.
LSD?
Well, here's the thing. So they would brainwash them, and then they would hypnotize them, and then they would just basically terrorize them with drugs and mind altering things, whether it be actual physical things that you're taking in or just mental things, right?
I.e., Charles Manson and who's your boy from the Doors? Jim Morrison.
Jim Morrison, yeah.
Yep. We can do a whole episode on Jim.
Right. So check this out, dude. I heard there was an MK Ultra victim that I was listening to. I saw this video.
There's a lot
and
of them that have been speaking out.
he was legit saying that how they scope these people out. Like if you're ever somebody who's just randomly picked up by the government, right? The best way for them to pick up, just random people is to make sure they have no family, make sure they have no friends. Maybe you're just a fucking outsider, right?
Yeah.
And they get them while they're young, especially. So if these kids were like foster kids, and they were the outsider as far as friends with everybody goes, dude, they would pick those kids specifically and then take them back to the headquarters and do all their groom them exactly. But check it out, dude. They could be groomed to know how to do one or two things really good.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like this guy, he goes, I was trained for killing and something else. But it's crazy because they turn him literally into a fucking Winter Soldier to where they're just used as a puppet. And where I wanted to go with that is that I think a lot of like Hollywood and a lot of like actors and musicians and shit like that, I think that there's a lot of fucking people who are MK Ultra, subjects.
Yeah.
Because if you look at fucking Katy Perry and she's like tweaking out saying, where's my master? Right? Remember that one video where she looked like a fucking robot? You look at Britney Spears and her whole conservatorship, and then you see the shit that she's posting on fucking Instagram. It's like, hold on. First of all, you never leave your fucking house, so I don't know if you're, really free.
Yeah, if you don't know that living room, you ain't been on Instagram.
I don't know, man. Apparently, she's doing a lot of stuff where she's just exposing herself and she's just wilding out because she's free.
Well,
or is that all a scam to get y'all attention?
No, you have to think about the fact that she was under conservatorship and she was like force fed certain drugs and like mental.
I think she still is, dude.
Psychological drugs, and at some point, the effects of that have to be somewhat permanent.
I don't believe she has complete, full autonomy over herself. I believe that she has a handler. I don't think it's her dad or her mom or whatever it was.
I'm just saying, like, I think that her brain is fried from the amount of like things that have been put through her body.
So her conservatorship was run by her family, right? Like her dad was the main one included, right? So that was such a horrific thing, and she finally got free from her, from that whole thing, right?
Yeah.
But then you go on.
Drug.
But then you go on and you see that she just wrote a book, right? Like she just wrote a book.
Did she?
With her dad.
About what?
Okay, so I'm just like, all right, is this all bullshit? Are they trying to play us? I mean, what is really going on? And I'm going to tell you right now, dude, Britney ain't free for shit. I know this to be a fact, especially since her fucking ex-husband was trying to track her down before she got married. No, not K-Fed, the other one that didn't last very long. But her ex-husband that was the one she was only married to for like 2 or 3 days or some shit. You remember when she did that?
Like an hour.
Yeah, it wasn't very long.
Vegas, man.
But anyway, that guy, he fucking just went to jail not that long ago. I was trying to get him on the show because he was going on fucking TikTok and all these other places talking about how Britney's really not free and she's been texting me.
From the jail cell, dog?
Just before he went to jail.
Oh.
He went to jail as a result of, how all this panned out. But yeah, dude, I don't know what the hell's going on, but something ain't right with her. And like I said about about the Instagram, yeah, maybe she's not just always at home, but there's something off, dude. Something is so off with that.
I think Opana's a hell of a drug, and I think it's just ate away at her, dude.
But you know what's really telling? What's super, super telling is not necessarily like who she is or the lifestyle that she's living right now, but it's the fact that her sister, who was supposed to have grown up in the exact same environment.
Oh, Jamie Lynn, boy.
She actually lives about 30 minutes from us.
About to say, if you go to, what is it, Big Dogs.
Small town living.
Yeah.
Her kids are in private school. She lives like a very simple family life.
They
other
talking
than,
some
like,
bullshit.
Her music industry.
They talking some bullshit about how they trying to bring back a Zoe 101 reboot, and she gonna be in it.
But like I'm saying, like because of everything that her sister's going through and has gone through and all that, and then Jamie Lynn just chooses to like kind of live a simple life. You know?
Yeah.
I think that there's a broader picture that could be looked at because of her sister choosing not to move to Nashville,
Have
not
you
to move
partied
to
with
Los
her?
Angeles. No.
Yeah,
You never been at a bar when Jamie Lynn was up in there?
Mm-mm.
Oh, she cool people, man.
I
She
met her
cool people.
cousin. I met her cousin.
Oh no, look, she
Her
just
last name was Spears.
she's
That's all
just
I
from
know.
Kentwood, dude. You go to
Yeah.
Big Dogs over there in Livingston Parish on any given night, you might run into old Jamie Lynn. She cool people, dude. She ain't stuck up, you know. I'm
Well,
just
yeah,
saying.
I mean that makes
Yeah.
sense with what she's saying, that she's basically just trying
Yeah.
to live the simple life, and you got to commend her for that. Not only just be, for the lack of, the fame and the fortune and all that shit, just to be able to live that simple life. You got to think she saw everything
Oh, yeah.
Brittany had to go through to
And I
get
think
that
that's
fame and
why
fortune.
she's keeping her kids in such a
Yes.
normal lifestyle.
She was groomed by
Yeah.
Nickelodeon in their prime, dude. You know what I mean? And she
Nickelodeon.
walked the fuck away when the time came.
Well, she walked away when she got pregnant.
I was
They
gonna
told her
say,
she couldn't film anymore, but that's
Everybody claimed that they wrapped the show because she got pregnant and they didn't want to do another season. It's like, really, dude? Because y'all hit it pretty well. Y'all could have taken a little break and kept going. But I'm just saying, she saw what was going down and she was like, this is my way to easy out and walk away. So she did.
But who's baby daddy?
Hey, I'm not here to judge nobody.
No, I'm just saying, like,
I don't know.
Like, is it one of those like
Oh, you
ritual
think?
abuse babies, or
Do you think that this is a Weinstein baby with his gangrenous dick?
maybe could be?
That's
I don't know.
gross.
I'm just saying. I don't
hope
know.
not. I really hope not. But
I
I'm
know
just
he had
saying,
to take the injections to get it hard, but I don't know if he was
if
able to
they-
reproduce.
if they cut her off, they told her you can't film anymore because you're pregnant. Would it be because like the baby's dad would eventually come out?
I don't know if the baby's dad is known or not. I don't keep up with the Spears controversy. You know.
No, I'm saying like on a conspiracy base because
I hear you.
they can tell you your so and so's baby daddy is whoever they want to tell you it is, but who actually is it?
I mean, I don't know. Assuming now, there's okay. I understand. We're
It
assuming.
just seems like a very personal thing to do.
Maybe the
It was
baby
a
daddy is known and
very
it's all
big
good.
hit.
Maybe it was an abuse baby that like some dude stepped up and is claiming its own. I don't know. I'm not making the accusations.
You seemed really upset that Zoe 101 wasn't coming back.
no.
little
I actually was
disturbing.
okay. People
Dude,
like
that
lost
was
their
actually
shit.
good show.
See,
I never watched it.
It's
I
a
did.
certain demographic of people, and she fits that mold.
Yeah,
The same group that watched Pretty Little Liars to their entirety.
I did.
I'll bet you did, Brooke. I'll
Yeah.
bet you did. Anyway, I'm not dogging on the millennial white female.
Basic white girl.
Yeah, I got
I'm
down
not-
with some. I got down with some Lizzie McGuire now.
Now, okay, the same bracket. Okay, I'm just saying.
Okay.
The Zoe 101 crowd, my wife included, love Zoe 101. I personally thought the show was dog shit. I thought the acting was trash. But to be fair,
yeah,
so
if
is
you
most
rewatch
Disney
it,
shows.
if you go back and watch it, because we actually found it on.
even as
whatever.
even as a kid, I'm watching this. I'm like, none of this seems like a realistic scenario. Not even one. They're
What?
all at some sort of expensive beach house boarding school
I
for
was
rich
like, that's
celebrity
so
kids.
cool.
Yeah.
Their parents aren't telling what to do all the time.
And I'm like, name a 14-year-old with that kind of autonomy. I'll wait.
Okay,
LA,
I
probably.
know, okay?
Anywhere in LA.
I'm just
I don't know. The
saying,
homeless
I thought it
community
was
might have some
cool.
autonomy
at
in
the-
LA.
At that age, I thought it was cool.
That's
All
my
right.
point, though. It's unrealistic. But anyway,
Well,
right,
so is
I wanna-
Pretty Little Liars is unrealistic.
oh my God.
on
And what
so
a
many
fucking cop out.
levels.
The ending, we waited that long. What a evil twin. Dun, dun, dun.
A
Bitch, what?
16-year-old
How manly you claim
starts
to be.
dating her teacher, and
I
then
was
and then the
forced.
other one starts dating a cop who's all she's still in
Oh my
high
God.
school. She's dating a cop.
We start the show off with immediate jailbait and pedophilia, and we end the show with some sort of evil twin that nobody knew about. It's like, okay, y'all just made a soap opera for millennial white females. That's all this
Basically.
was.
That's all it was. Look, I want to get into some
Let's go.
more meat and some more potatoes.
All right.
We can talk about Disney and Nickelodeon, all that bullshit all day long,
Yep.
because we kind of do already. But I do want to get into this. All right. So I want to get into when I'm sure you have some information on this, Brooke.
I'm
And this is
scared.
why I'm so excited to have you back over, because I haven't heard anything on it in a while.
Okay.
When is Trump coming back into office?
Okay, so we last picked up, we were talking about possibly October, And what I have learned, you do have to expect the unexpected through this journey, obviously. But there are so many things that had to come out to awaken people on other levels than voter fraud, on other levels than COVID-19. Like, like, you're talking about MK Ultra, and we're talking about now Kanye speaking out finally about Balenciaga, and then you have the Twitter files. There's so much disclosure that's coming and that has been seen that's unprecedented just in this short last 2-3 weeks. And I think that we're kind of like at an information age where they're saying, okay, you can actually handle more information than 1 or 2 good topics a month. We'll hand you 1 or 2 good topics a week. See how you do with that. It's a whole awakening process. And so the short answer is no one really knows other than Trump and like 2 other people. The long answer is that 2023, if it's not the year, I will quit podcasting and just live in a hole.
So wait, time out. Back up. You're telling me that there is no chance in your brain that Biden will ride out his entire 4 and then Trump might be elected back in 2024. You're telling me if like it doesn't get stopped short, then you're just like done with everything?
No, what I'm saying is I am so sure that Biden will be removed, whether it's, he died or whatever. But like I'm saying, 2023 will be the year that Trump comes back. You have to pay attention. He actually does have so many comms in all of his speeches and whatnot.
Comms?
Comms, like communication.
Oh, thank you.
Oh,
like so you're talking about like messages, encoded messages for
Yes. And a lot of his comms here lately are for things being right around the corner, things being soon, the storm is coming, like that sort of thing. And I would also like to add to that whenever he announced his candidacy, it never came out of his mouth that he was running for president for 2024. He was announcing a presidential candidacy.
You're right. He might be going for 2028. He's playing the long game.
Well, no, I don't even think it's that. I think that with, this Brunson versus Adams case, the possible removal of 380 people from our politics and stuff, we're going to have to redo elections.
You understand that if Biden got pulled from office, Harris would take over.
No. She's on the Brunson case as well.
Okay, then the Speaker of the House would take over.
She's on the Brunson case as well.
Well, Pelosi's stepping down, is she not?
It is Pence, it is Biden, it is Harris, and it is 380 something people in Congress and House of Reps.
For that to go through, this country would probably fall into martial law anarchy for a solid 6 months to a year at minimum.
So martial law is on the table. It's something I think we're going to go through. I'm not disagreeing with you at that
I'm
at
about
all.
it.
But what I'm saying
super here
is
for that noise.
that I think that was more of him saying, like, I am running for president. We are going to have elections, and it's not going to be 2024.
Okay.
But he's running for the Republic, right? He's not running for the corporation of the United States.
Correct. The way it was filed was different than he
Unfortunately,
filed.
if you file for one, you're filing for both. You can't separate the two anymore.
Well, no, the corporation of the U.S. has been dissolved.
Really? Because my tax is still getting taken out on every paycheck. You sure about that?
Nassar Jassar is supposed to refund them.
All my taxes will get refunded?
That's what I'm understanding.
Let's fucking go.
And that's what I'm understanding.
Your mortgage as well.
And we won't have...
That's what's going on in other countries, bro, and some real shit.
What country is paying back your mortgage?
I can't remember which ones.
The only ones I've heard of are like these small countries in Europe that are begging people to move there to up their population numbers, that they're willing to like let you move there for free, give you a house for free and shit like that, which is legit, I might add.
A couple of my listeners have actually like sent me pictures of certain like bills and stuff for like different things that they own, where it says like this month their balance is supposed to be like, they own like are supposed to have owed like $500, and it says balance due 0.
I don't know, because I'm still fighting and this is just me. I'm not trying to poke holes. I'm just saying that 6 months ago, we were getting electricity bills for like $850, $900 a month in this area. Mm-hmm. So whenever you say that like mortgages are going to get paid back, I find it a little...
I don't think the mortgages are going to get paid back. I think that people are just going to get the titles to their homes.
Okay. More of like a free and clear.
They're going to
be
dissolve
relieved.
Those companies because the companies run through the Federal Reserve, which is another corporation owned by...
empty. The Federal Reserve has been empty since 1975.
My point being, So it's a whole process that I don't think it's going to be like you wake up one day and President Trump's like, hey, by the way, nobody
yeah.
owes their note this month.
Oh, this is not going to be a quick process by any means.
I think it's going to be, we go through all these different levels of disclosure, and I think right now we're kind of in a CIA disclosure, especially with those JFK files. Eventually, we're going to get to the disclosure of the IRS, the fact that it says pay your taxes to Congress in our congressional papers.
Okay.
And, then we're going to go through what is actually, going on with the Federal Reserve. All of this disclosure is going to come out as we receive our debt relief little by little.
I have a huge question.
People would go buck wild if they got everything all at once.
Right.
I have a massive question.
Uh-oh.
Okay. So, I guess what I want to get at is, okay, they've been disclosing. All these things have come out, and we've seen it. We've seen a lot of shit that's come out. Even the FDA itself has now come out and said that, yeah, the fucking COVID shots do cause blood clots.
Shocker.
They've come out and said that. Okay, so you got all this disclosure. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
What's the purpose behind it? Because why are they trying to prove it to us? Because we supposedly are supposed to speak with our vote, right? But if the fucking voting system's rigged, why do they need to convince us if it's already rigged anyway?
I think it's like throwing your dog a bone.
The fact
making
that
the people feel like they won one.
Maybe.
Okay, the fact that you even have the mental capacity to ask that question goes to show that the disclosure has somehow impacted you.
Oh, it has. I mean, don't get me
so,
wrong. I'm just saying, there has to be a plan. There's got to be more, something more to it.
So, first of all, with all the blessings that are potentially coming, right? There's a certain amount of humility that I believe that we have to have in order to receive those blessings and in the fullest, Secondarily, if you have a hammer and you decide, let me see how good this feels, and you just hit yourself with it, right?
Okay.
You're going to be like, wow, fuck, that hurt. Let me not do that again. Or if somebody comes at you with their hammer, you're not going to just let them.
Sure, you're going to learn your lesson.
You're going to say, okay.
School of Hard Knocks.
This is unacceptable, and this is something that can't happen again because I know my repercussions. Well, so we have allowed this cabal of people to infiltrate in every single direction. And whether you are a person that's very introverted, very extroverted, you have to get uncomfortable. You have to go through something that is painful in order for you to wake up and say, no, I'm not going to let this happen. We're not going to do that again.
It's about perspective.
We learned our lesson. We're not doing that.
Yeah.
And so there are people that are reclusive, especially after COVID. They got to work in their houses. They got to stay in their houses.
Lucky.
They could order their food to their door. They could, DoorDash, DoorDine, whatever. They can get their groceries into their door. And they're like, okay, the outside world doesn't affect me. Well, those same people, they do have interests. They may be knitting or, gaming or whatever. But all of those things, like the cost of knitting, the gaming, and like all of the satanic things that actually are in certain gaming systems.
Yeah.
Once what you love, your interest is bothered, is uprooted or tainted in a way that you don't like, that causes a reaction from you. So we're kind of at obviously a big disclosure place, but also we're at a place where people that are not used to being uncomfortable are pushed to be uncomfortable because they have to learn things that they didn't want to know.
Is it possible that they're putting out all this information and everything's, reportedly being basically, like a lot of people are being illuminated, so to say, right? Is it possible that they're giving us that information to see what our reaction really is going to be? Are we just going to be the fucking angry typer on our computer while we're stuck at home and, snuggled up in our bed and we're not actually going to do anything about it? Are they wondering what the real repercussions of this information getting out is going to happen? Because people are still doing the same thing. People are still watching the same TV shows. People are still listening to the same music. People are still watching fucking Don Lemon and Rachel Maddow.
In the U.S., yes, but have you seen what's going on in Brazil, in Germany, in other countries?
Yes.
People are standing up. People are saying that's enough. For
Revolting.
like 20 weekends in a row, They revolted against Macron in France. Like,
Yeah.
there are countries that, like Australia, that the people said, I couldn't give two shits if I have to wake up and go to work in the morning. I'm going to go down to the government building. I'm going to hold my sign. I'm going to put my time in, because if I can't even spend the money because of social credit scores, what's the point of even going into work?
Facts.
And so Americans are lazy. That's just the
We've
honest
been
truth about
spoiled.
it.
We've been spoiled by our like complete safety net that is
And
America.
That's been on purpose, though.
You know, our
Yeah.
entire entertainment industry for the world really roots back to America. Our government has so much to do with how other governments stay afloat in economics, you know?
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
So we have to go through probably a more painful experience than others.
That's the problem, though. I don't think America. I don't want to speak certain words into existence because then you're doomed to like get. I don't want to say America's too big to fail because that's incorrect. You know what I'm
No.
saying?
Nothing's too big to fail.
Exactly. So with that disclaimer, big old bold underlined asterisk disclaimer that nothing is too big to fail, I would like to say I think America has more or less set ourselves up in such a way that like even our absolute worst scenario falling is actually not that bad by comparison.
Well,
I don't think that America will ever fall into an
everything is
absolute third world
perspective.
country.
everything
You know what I'm
is
saying?
perspective. And, you know, they talk about like a possible Cuban Missile Crisis type scenario.
Sure.
That is something that would affect every single person in the U.S. And I think that other countries aren't going to be subjected to that type of terroristic situation, because they've gotten the balls and they've gotten up and they've changed things and they've been up in arms.
Very few countries have actually towed the line and nutted up when the time came.
And so we used to be a people of a lot more
Grit.
and
Yes.
bronze, and our entertainment industry has said, no, you know what, go ahead and wear skinny jeans and grow your hair out and dye it purple and
Oh yeah.
and transgender, pangender, whatever. And so our men are less manly.
Meanwhile,
Our
China is
women are
injecting
less
their men with
girly.
testosterone
Yes.
to make them more manly.
Right. And so it's just a whole hot mess over here that has to be cleaned up. That's why we're seeing such a broad variety of disclosure. Because some things, you know, I could say, I don't really care about that topic. But I say I don't really care about that topic. Most people wouldn't really care about a specific topic. I'm too curious. I like to see how everything like kind of intermingles, and it's like
Sure.
That's why your
whole web
show is so
going on in
great,
there.
though, because you're going over it every single day. Everything that catches your attention, you're like, oh shit, I gotta dive deeper on this. You know, let me fucking put a whole show up there and let all the rest of your, what do you call your listeners?
Outlookers.
I don't know. That's not a topic I guess I ever thought
You don't
about.
have
Damn.
a name for your fans?
No. I mean, it's not
Outlookers.
like I'm looking for like believers, you know what I mean?
Hey dude, we have cult members.
Yeah, you do.
we do.
You do.
I mean, so we need to come up with a name. If you come up with a name that you think Brooks listeners should be called, maybe you're a listener of Brooks podcast already. What do you think you should be called?
I'm thinking
Huh?
for my spinoff, calling all the members the Watchmen.
Let's go.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Right?
Yeah,
Because the Bible
yeah.
calls us to be
Yeah.
watchmen for the end times. But I also don't want to make that sound sexist in any way. I might say watch people, but then that sounds too liberal. So I don't know.
The Rolex wearers.
No, God.
I'm joking.
Oh, it's
I'm
our Slick
joking.
Rick. Rolex wearing. Diamond ring wearing. Woo! Dude,
Limousine riding.
a jet flying. Kid stealing, wheeling, dealing, son of a gun. I'm having a hard time holding these alligators down.
Yes.
It's like, bro,
Yes.
I'm sorry. So Ric Flair was on some shit that y'all don't. I spent more money on spilt liquor last year than you made in the entirety of your checks. It's like, oh my God, Slick Rick.
Ric Flair was on some shit, dude.
God,
So bad.
calm down. Just like what was it Randy Savage? The cream rises to the top.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God.
Fucking
You
Randy
see,
Savage, yeah, dude.
this is some shit that can never be topped.
It can't be.
You know, the
It can't
cream
be.
rises to the
You
top.
know, there was
Yes.
a study that said that only about 20% of Americans were actually capable of like critical thinking skills.
I believe it.
and that is the cream at the top, y'all.
Have y'all-
We are the cream at the top.
Have y'all seen this
pretty
generation
scary.
that's coming into the workforce right now? I'm not even saying millennials. We have shown that we got a rough road ahead of us. Half of it's our fault, half of it's not. Fine. We can have that talk. But have y'all seen the current generation that's graduating high school and becoming voting age and all of that? Have you seen what that looks like?
Yeah,
Extremely brainwashed.
I'm
You know-
scared. I'm truly, actually shooketh.
Like the brainwash system is going so well in the school system right now. It's unreal.
Our generation was fucked from brainwashing. This generation coming up,
Oh,
I don't think
dude.
they've ever heard truth.
We got to think, dude.
Unless they have parents that truly give a fuck.
Bro, like
Well,
the iPhone
yeah.
didn't come out until I was a senior in high school.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Dude, I was
Like,
popping
we
a
had
flip phone senior year like I was still a pimp.
Yeah, we
Like,
had
you know what
cell
I mean?
phones,
the
but like,
razor.
Yes.
yeah, but like you can
Oh,
only
man, I
send a
forgot the
limited
razor.
amount
I
of
had a purple
text,
one.
and like if you had internet, it was slow as fuck.
I remember one of my
You know?
boys had the ability to turn his phone into a hotspot to roll with his laptop at lunch, and we thought he was like some hot shit.
Oh yeah,
You know what I'm saying? That was wild.
Yo, the T-Mobile Sidekick was where it was. Where it
Yeah.
was at. Yeah. Big time.
I am
Um,
so non-tech savvy. It's ridiculous.
Well, hold on, Brooke. Let me ask you this, because you're a little bit younger than us. Do you remember what dial-up sounds like, or no?
Yeah.
You had to
That
pause.
really
It's
annoying
a-
sound.
Well, it's like like it's not something you could be like imitate.
No,
You-
not
You
really.
can't really
It's
imitate,
so
but like when
weird,
I say
yeah.
the term, the name dial-up,
Yeah.
there's a certain sound
Little
emit within the
screechy
recesses
kinda,
of your
yeah.
subconscious.
It's as annoying as the most annoying sound in the world.
The emergency alert system.
Yeah.
There's some kind of science behind the emergency alert system actually. Like it's supposed to be as annoying and ear piercing and like chalkboard nails like
They
to
came
wake
close.
you up.
I'll be chilling at work and I'll get an emergency alert signal for nothing.
I can't
Yeah.
wait for those
Is
emergency
it bad
alerts.
that I get excited when I get them?
Yeah, what the
yes.
fuck, Brooke?
I'm the same way. I get super excited.
I don't.
And like, what's going on? And it's usually nothing.
It's nothing.
But the other
Flash
day it
flood
was a
warning.
tornado, and it wasn't like I forget the difference between a warning and a watch.
I don't know.
It wasn't like predictable favorable winds.
People
it was
freak
like
out for tornadoes.
it was like
here.
there's actually a tornado like coming.
Did
And
it hit
so
you? I
when-
bet it didn't.
No, but this is my thought process. Okay,
Go ahead.
if I did nothing and it came, I have a lot of windows in my house.
Sure.
I would regret not sheltering my children.
Sure.
So the good mom that I am,
No, taking precautions is very normal.
I stopped relaxing in the bathtub.
Mm,
I told my children to grab a snack,
yep.
and I let them watch Blippi or something like that on my phone for 30 minutes. And
Yeah.
about halfway through this experience, I'm telling myself, God, I fucking love my children because Blippi is fucking ridiculous.
I hate
Yeah, it
Blippi
is.
so much.
And-
Although
and
I'm jealous
sitting
of
in
him.
a bathroom with two small children for 30 minutes, okay? I
I'm
love my
jealous of
children, but
Blippi.
damn.
He's like a 30-something-year-old dude who just like plays around and acts retarded half
He
the
makes
time.
like 11 million a year or
Makes
something
that
like
much. And I'm like, you rat bastard, you
Oh, yeah, dude.
genius.
The Wiggles made fucking
His
bank
wife
too.
is hot though.
With that kind of bank account, that
She's
boy is.
beautiful.
Oh, I'll bet.
I bet
Let
she
me
don't
find
wear
out
it either.
Blippi married to some busted ass.
All right, I
Nah.
want to take this conversation from
His
Blippi to
last
something
name
for
is
real.
Blippi.
All right.
Oh, that's his last name.
Mhm.
How
I was-
unfortunate. All right, I want to get it on something that I've seen lately, and it's kind of a hypothesis that I've kind of been building. I've heard a lot of other people talk about it as well, especially in the flat Earth community.
Oh God.
All right, this has nothing to do with flat Earth,
Okay.
but as you are well aware, a lot of flat Earthers believe in it because it relates to the Bible, whether you want to agree with it or
Yeah.
not.
Okay.
It talks about the
yeah.
four corners of the earth and whatnot.
Anchor told me that all of my listeners, or whatever percent, most of my listeners, also listen to a lot of Flat Earth podcasts.
Hell yeah,
Shocker.
dude! Flat Earth. I fucking love flat
I was
Earth,
like,
dude.
okay,
Alright.
I'll take it.
Keep in mind with the whole four corners thing, the argument could also be made that it was talking about the four cardinal directions of north, south, east, and west, and those are not exactly corners. More like if you were to describe to the imagination of somebody circa 3000 BC, what would they have wrote down? Just gonna throw that out. Anyway,
I
continue.
mean, dude, somebody sat at the top of the earth with the devil, and he saw all four corners of the earth. That's not really. What is he looking at? A fucking compass?
I don't believe that exactly. I believe that was more like a parable. I would have to look at the exact scripture and see. When you say the devil sat at the top of the earth, Are we talking about Mount Everest, the highest point? Are we talking about the North Pole, the most north point? Are the flat earthers talking about he was sitting on top of the dome of the firmament?
I don't know. I
See?
don't know.
I don't know.
There's an interesting theory out there that said that whenever the flood came, Noah's Ark, all those times, it was actually a part of humanity that broke through the very first layer of the firmament and drained the first layer of water out like that. It's like consecutive firmaments.
Oh,
Which I thought was
dimensional.
interesting.
Dimensional.
Yeah.
Wow.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Thought it was an interesting take on it.
That is quite interesting. All right,
Can't
but
prove it, but interesting.
yeah, it's hard to prove any of this. It's like all of this is pure speculation. We're never gonna get up high enough to be able to see the actual shape of the Earth.
Right.
I mean, whether
think
you
we
want to
will.
call it a ball or whatever.
Dog, we're going to make a weather balloon experiment happen, and we're going to shut everybody up. We're going to use one of our cameras, no fisheye lens, and we're going to just send some weather balloons up. It's very cheap. And when we get the video recording of a round Earth, I want to hear everybody, well, I wasn't there, so it didn't happen. Well, you're a fucking retard. I'm sorry.
Well, look, we're gonna send you up on that weather balloon.
Don't
sir.
threaten me with a good time.
I'll
I'll beat
fucking
that
ride-
fucking farthest free fall distance.
Yeah, the
I
Red
am
Bull
down.
jump. Well, supposedly, according to Neil deGrasse Tyson, he says that guy, the Red Bull jumper, couldn't have seen the curvature of the Earth because he wasn't up high enough.
What?
And the only reason that you could see a curvature was because of the fisheye lens. That's
Wait.
out of Neil deGrasse Tyson's
Wait, is
mouth.
Neil deGrasse a fucking flat earther?
No, he's a fucking like
I didn't think
astrologer
so.
or some shit. Like he's all into space. Like he's the one that he makes fun of flat earthers.
Right,
bro.
I thought so.
Yeah. And he's the one that was saying that, yeah, that Red Bull jump, there's no way he could have seen the curvature of the Earth because the Earth is so huge and, he wasn't high up
Okay,
enough.
fine. If he could back that up with math, I'll listen at least.
Okay, yeah, you listen to that fucking idiot. But
But-
you don't listen to the actual smart people like David Weiss
Okay,
and all my
can-
other flat earther friends.
Can they back it up with math? Neil deGrasse has actually dedicated his life to education and academia. And if he says that he understands how gravity works, I would much rather listen to Neil deGrasse Tyson on how gravity works with the mathematical scale versus David Weiss talking about just download my app. It'll
Neil-
make sense if you just download my app.
Okay, Neil deGrasse Tyson is an actual real-life idiot.
He's also
Okay.
an actual scientist.
Um,
I'm not talking about his political views.
Yeah, but
No,
so
no.
is Fauci, huh?
Yes, exactly.
Good point.
Saying that fucking Neil deGrasse Tyson is smart is saying, like, yeah, Fauci, is still like
godfather of
making
science.
vaccines. Yeah, he's the godfather
What's
of science.
Fauci's background? Is he an actual doctor at something, or did he get appointed to this position because
Yeah,
he sucked
is
the right
a doctor
dick?
of something, but he did suck a lot of dicks.
Okay, heard that. Well, as I've said,
So
you build 1,000 bridges, but you suck one dick. What are you?
You're a dick sucker.
That's it. I'm sorry.
I wanted to get into it, though, what a lot of flat earthers say. This doesn't really have anything to do with flat earth, but
What the fuck?
as far as flat earth,
he
they
was
all
getting
say it.
somewhere.
All right, go ahead. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
but they all say it because a lot of them are coming from a very biblical standpoint,
Mm.
and they say and what they believe, and a lot of other people, including myself, are now believing that we will witness whatever the next thing is going to be, dude. There's going to be a fake alien invasion. I'm full on certain of it.
What if
full on.
aliens are just demons?
That's
What if both are happening at the same time, separate and equally?
Dude, okay. I saw something and I had to change my entire perspective of it. I don't know if there could ever be a alien in the physical form. I don't think that's possible.
Why not?
I think that there are light beings or there are demons. I think that there's like one or the other.
So you're saying the
So-
same thing I'm saying with a different flair, but go ahead.
Here's how I look at it, okay? You know how there's like all these really strange forms of angels in the Bible?
Sure.
And then we talk about how, they were cast down and they mated with humans.
And animals.
Yeah. And so the centaur and whatever.
Right.
But if you think about it, we don't really know that all of those angels looked very human-like.
What was the first example ever
What
given
if
in the
they
Bible was
looked-
like a giant flaming wheel with eyes all
Right.
over it?
What if it just looked like a gray blob and then it had sex with a human and all of a sudden you have a fucking gray alien?
I mean,
I've heard the argument that the gray aliens are actually just droids. that they're not even the real aliens, that they come from aliens, supposedly. It's alien tech. But the actual gray aliens that a lot of people see outside their window or whatever, a lot of people... Dude, have you seen some of those videos? Wow.
I
Some
think
people have caught...
aliens are just demons.
Some people have caught those little grays
So
on
hold on,
camera. It's crazy.
Or fallen angels.
Hold on, Brooke.
Like,
So
just-
you do not believe that it's possible that God created other life on another planet somewhere that has nothing to do with us, but His plan may just involve another planet with another life, another whole ecosystem, and then outside of that, there's angels and demons. You don't believe that there's any other life in the universe other than our specific planet.
Okay, so first of all, we are the center of the universe. Second
What?
of all,
We're not even the center of our own solar system.
yes, we are.
Okay. That's why I wanted, before you had that theory, Jacob, in order to assume that there could be other life form on other planets and other galaxies and all
Sure.
that, you would have to come to the agreement that there are other physical planets and other physical galaxies.
If our sun is a star,
Uh-huh.
and all of the stars in the sky are hypothetically their own suns, is it crazy to fathom that maybe those suns out there, possibly through the randomness of everything else in existence, have their own planets around them, and maybe some of them could sustain life? Maybe not carbon-based. Maybe it's something else. Maybe it is carbon-based. I don't know. I'm not God. I ain't made
Well,
this shit.
Hypothetically speaking, what if we just live in a firmament and our sun is not a star and the stars are attached to the firmament?
Yes!
Then everything that we know about physics, math, gravity, seasons, weather, all of it's complete bullshit.
You mean the theory of gravity? That one?
If you drop something, it drops. Like, we know gravity's real.
Is
Okay.
it gravity, though?
So
Yeah.
Is it not electromagnetism?
No.
That could
That's
be a
why the
thing.
Earth is ground. When you do electrical anything, you have to ground it.
yeah, I believe in gravity. That's a little far fetched for me, but no, I kind of am more like 70-30 on the whole flat Earth thing. And
Here's my thing on the
Let's
Christians.
go.
Hold on. Pause. And I'm not trying to negate what you're saying.
okay,
Here's my biggest point with the hardcore Christian, especially evangelical Christians that are flat earthers.
okay,
Pause, take 2 steps back from the situation, look at it objectively.
I've looked at it through
Not-
biblical lens too.
Not just you, I'm saying to all the cult members listening.
Okay.
It sounds like I'm directing this at you, and I'm not, because I know that you've done
Quit
what I'm about to
coming
say.
at me, bro.
I'm sorry, Brooke. I'm sorry. I know that you've done this. I'm talking about to everybody else.
Okay.
Look at it, grand scheme of shit. Okay. Does the earth being round or flat change the story of
Yes.
the Bible?
Yeah, absolutely.
How? How? In what way?
Okay, so first of all, there is a firmament, and the heaven is above the firmament.
Wait, what does that have to do with Jesus coming down and dying on the cross for us?
Because then there wouldn't be a fucking universe full of planets. It would be
we
the firmament
would
and then
be
heaven.
the entire universe.
What?
And so we would be center
Okay,
stage,
so
is what she's saying.
here's my thought process on this. I think that it has benefited the cabal well to have us believe that we are one of many beings out there, one of many Earths or planets or whatever,
Sure.
A speck in the universe.
because it makes us seem insignificant.
Because we are.
However, we are the only creature in the entire world that is made in the image of God.
And we're the only ones that know what time is.
Exactly.
Okay.
And so you're going to tell me that you think it makes more sense for the only thing that is made in the image of God to be insignificant in the entire world?
No, I think that there's a lot more going on at play, and we are so self-important that we think that we are any type of a thing that God gives. God cares about all of us, absolutely. I'm not saying He doesn't want a personal and intimate relationship with all of us, but I am saying that in the grand scheme of shit, the fact that we feel like our life ending right now is not the exact same thing as a squirrel getting ran over on the side of the road tonight is absolutely laughable.
Bro, if
So-
you're... Let me make this point right quick.
Okay.
So we're all God's children, right?
Sure,
As
sure.
the story goes.
So are the animals, so are the plants, so are the mountains.
Okay. If there were fucking other life, if there was other life form out there,
Yeah.
then that would also be God's children, right?
Agreed. Even
Okay.
Jesus himself said when he took off that I have sheep not of this fold and I must tend to them, and then he ascended into heaven.
That could
Now-
mean anything.
He was
okay,
going
granted.
into the wheels with the eyeballs.
And granted, he could totally have gone and just had a congregation of angels. That could be what he meant. I don't
Maybe.
know. I
Yeah.
wasn't there.
Right, but the point is that if there are other life forms on other planets,
Yeah.
if you're let's say your parents, you grew up your whole life
Yeah.
and you never knew you had a brother because they just gave up that brother.
Okay.
You'd be pretty pissed off if you didn't know about that brother, right?
No doubt, but at the same time, I recognize the fact that I do not want to know God's plan because I can't handle God's plan. My human brain can't conceive the fathom that is the depths of his plan. So if there is another planet with life out there that has souls, that has autonomy, that Jesus came down for, or maybe they were a perfect Garden of Eden situation that never got tainted by the devil. I don't know. I haven't met them yet. But if that's out there somewhere, okay, why not? I'm not God. Maybe he wanted more than one planet, dude.
Yeah, but
I
the
think
Bible
because
is
he's infinite.
it's the book of history, bro.
He
They never
has-
mentions any of that.
He has the option to recreate Earth-like scenario as many
Correct.
times as he wanted, right?
And it's not the history, brother. It's basic instructions
However-
before leaving Earth.
However, I think that we are encapsulated in a firmament with hell below, heaven above, and this is God sitting on his throne, watching his creation and his plan,
Burn
and
itself out.
and masterfully expression, like the expression of love, the takeover of like his Holy Spirit. Like I think that it's a thousands and thousands of year old love story, and
Yeah.
it's being wrapped up right now, and I do think that this place has God's sole attention.
I'll tell you what, I would love to have you on my spinoff when the time comes, Brooke.
All right.
I'm telling you, I guarantee there's at least one, if not multiple things about the end times that you could definitely roll on.
Oh yeah.
You know, I'm like that you actually like know and have done your own research
Oh, dude,
on.
her fucking show is practically on that in a
What-
way.
Sometimes.
Some of it,
Yeah.
yes. That's the thing, though. Sometimes politics literally coincide with it, and sometimes you got to look a little deeper.
Yeah.
But anyway, I
Dude.
think we need to wrap this one, dude, because I'm about to piss myself.
Oh, heard?
Yeah,
All right.
it's getting bad, dog.
Damn, dude. I really want to talk more about aliens, but we'll do it another time.
Indeed.
You know what? I would love all of our cult members to reach out to us. If you have an alien story, a legit alien story, maybe you met one, maybe you got probed by one, maybe you fucking I don't know.
Hit it on the Instagrams.
If you clapped alien cheeks, even if you did that,
All
I
right, and
wanna know
also
about it.
pause, fucking pause.
Okay.
If you have a clapping alien cheek story, send that one in.
absolutely.
I want to know
send those
what
first.
the hell you're talking about, and if you were sober at the time. That's critical.
Yeah.
I'm not here to judge you. I just want to know.
Yeah,
I-
and beyond that, I want to know what your experience was. I witnessed a UFO, or so I thought. Maybe it was some government shit. I
I
don't know.
witnessed a flying El Camino twice. I feel you.
Maybe
I don't
there
believe that was aliens.
Maybe there was some drone technology going on that we don't have, information on.
I believe somebody created a flying car and took it out for a stroll, and I just happened to catch it twice. That's
We-
all I'm saying.
We've seen movies on that.
Shit.
Anyhow, Brooke, thank you so much for coming on to the cult.
Where can the people find you?
I am on Anchor. I am on Spotify. I'm on Apple Podcast.
Outlook by Brooke? Go check her out. It's
Indeed.
a fantastic, fascinating show. And they're very digestible episodes. They're only about 10, 15, 20 minutes max, I think.
Yeah.
So very digestible. You can do it on the way to go pick up your kids from school, bro.
It's just the meat and potatoes. It's great.
It's
Heard
the
that.
meat and the potatoes. Yeah, it's gets right to the nitty gritty. Jacob, any parting words for you, sir?
No,
What do you
man.
think about all this? What's going on?
About what? We've covered a lot tonight. We went down a couple of deep rabbit holes. Which particular topic are you asking me about?
Aliens, bro.
I believe that
Wanna know
aliens. I believe in. Okay, and I don't want to say just aliens because that's a very broad brush stroke. You know what I'm saying? Do I believe that there are living entities outside of our earthly realm? 1,000%.
That are outside of angels and demons.
No. Hold on. I'm about to get there. Okay. Do
Okay.
I believe that angels and demons exist? Yes. Do I believe these are interdimensional, ethereal, sometimes physical beings that manifest themselves however they need to for the purpose that they've been assigned to? Absolutely.
So Bigfoot for sure.
No. What? No. Fuck.
What? You believe in interdimensional entities, but you don't believe in Bigfoot?
Hold on. When it comes to cryptids, and I will put aliens, then the green men or the grays or whatever.
Who
I'll
say
put
they're-
them.
Who say they're different?
Who's to say? I don't know.
Yeah.
Do I believe that they could exist? Yes. Do I personally, in my heart of hearts, believe they exist? Absolutely. Do I believe they give a fuck about us? No.
The Bigfoots or the aliens?
Both.
Oh.
I believe Bigfoots have completely signed off on humans because all we do is hunt them. And I believe the aliens don't give a fuck about us because what more do they want from us? They've already gotten what they want off of us thousands of years ago.
They're already controlling us remotely
They don't care. It's the prisoners running the prison.
with the remote control.
Now, all of that being said, I also believe that those aliens were created by the same God that created us. They were created in his image. Now, that being said, I don't mean with the facial features of God, because I don't know if God has high cheekbones. I don't know if he has facial hair. I don't know. I'm not God. You feel me? What I will say is having 2 eyes, forward-facing head, a nose of some type, a upright standing body, the basics of what a humanoid, quote-unquote, is, I believe God might be something close to that. But I also think that when we start trying to think, well, God looks like me, first of all, bitch, calm yourself. You're not that important. God created you. You don't look like God, okay? God made you look the way he wanted you to look.
Oh, so you think God literally has like a face?
Yeah.
I don't
think
know.
so.
I don't know. Maybe he does, or maybe what he is, the great I am, okay, might
Yeah.
look like everything and nothing all at once. I'm telling you, bro, what I believe God is, what I believe that the homeboy actually fucking up there is something that my human brain truly and unequivocally cannot fathom.
Oh, I agree.
I have no idea
Yeah.
what I'm even, you know what I'm saying?
I agree.
There's no
It's
science
explaining
to
color
back
to a
this.
blind man.
There's no science, no scripture, no nothing to back this, but I'm just saying, if I get to heaven and Jesus has a nice beard, I will not be disappointed.
I promise you he does. I
God.
promise you he does. Jesus knew what was up.
Just saying.
He was a
Or-
carpenter before power tools. Your boy had a beard.
If
and he
I
was
get
cut.
to look at beards like for the rest of eternity, like that's pretty solid.
You have a beard fetish, don't you?
Yeah.
If you're going to try to make it into a... Okay, moving on.
But the Jesus that we've seen pictures of is definitely not the real Jesus.
No, he's not white. That's for
no,
sure.
but
No,
there
I don't
are
think-
people that have said that they've died and went to heaven and then come back and like drew what they saw.
Yeah.
Was it
painted.
according to
The
the
little boy, man. Heaven
Francis
is for real.
Bourgeois or whatever the fuck the painting is from?
No. The Jesus that everybody comes back and agrees upon is a dark-skinned, olive-complected, big nose, hazel-eyed, curly-haired.
Yeah.
Like it's a very Jewish-looking guy, circa 0 AD. You know what I'm saying? Ain't this white guy?
But when you say but it's a lighter olive. It's not
Yeah.
like it's not quite brown, but it's not quite white.
Right. I'll tell
like
you
my
what.
baby.
There's very famous paintings of it that are all agreed upon. I'm gonna show you this as soon
Yeah.
as we wrap.
It's beautiful though. Like
It is.
this creature of beauty.
Interesting.
For sure.
Creatures of beauties and stuff. Anyhow,
Let's roll.
until next time, this was another beautiful episode of The Cult of Conspiracy, and my name's Jonathan.
I'm Jacob.
I'm Brooke.
And there's one very important, extremely vital thing we need you to do just as soon as humanly possible. Open up that third eye.
Hey, cult members, Jacob here. Just want to ask, who wants better sex? The best way to get started is to go to adamandeve.com right now. Adam and Eve is offering 50% off just about any item, but that's not all. When you get one item, they will also send 3 bonus sexy items and 6 free movies. They offer discreet shipping as your privacy is a priority, plus free shipping on your entire order. Doesn't matter how much you spend or what you buy. All will be packaged and sent discreetly for free. That's 50% off one item and 10 free gifts to boot. Bring more pleasure and satisfaction into your bedroom. Just go to adamandeve.com and select any one item. It could be an adventurous new toy or anything you desire. Just enter the offer code CULT at checkout and you'll get 50% off almost any item, plus 10 free gifts, 3 bonus items, 6 free movies, and free shipping. Use the offer code CULT, that's C-U-L-T, at adamandeve.com. Now, this is an exclusive offer specific to this podcast, so be sure to use this code to get you not just the discount and the free goodies, but also the 100% free shipping with the code CULT.